contributions that will help in the safeguard of our students. Our Dean, thank you for being here, even when you are not feeling well. We struggled to get her here. She's not feeling well. I'm sure she's about to leave. But she has ably given us our befitting representative. So we are going to have a humble but very critical discussion. Mr. President, why we invited you is that you have taken over the welfare and the direction of 40,000 students of Makerere University, and we don't want to engage into issues that affect their health without having you. There was a candidate, one of the candidates in one of the colleges had a slogan, the one who lost to you, I think, that there is nothing for us without us. And that's why you're here. The students of Makerere University are going to watch you live, both on social media and on TV. And it is important to them to hear you discuss some of these important issues. So I wish to invite our panel team, and I will start with you, Your Excellency, the freshest president in this country, Mr. Lyons Lawrence, my personal friend, a student of NCB. Yeah. Even those who did not vote for you, I think you've heard how they are clapping. Please come forward and take the middle seat. Important to this discussion is a tough lady, Miss Donna Keirungi. She has mastered issues of gender, and she's the youngest warden in the world, the warden of CCE complex. A wetland boy. Miss Donna Keirungi, you are most welcome. I wish to take this opportunity to invite the Dean's representative, now my boss, Mr. Peter Mwanja. He's a consultant for Busoga Education, and he's the warden of University Hall. He's a PhD student. He has just come from class. I'm told after this discussion, he's going to be running back. And thank you for this time. This side. Etojo Peter, our other panelist, representative of students with disabilities, is walking in, and we shall introduce him as he comes in. Thank you, and thank you for accepting them to be the key leaders in this discussion.
Let's give a very big hand clap for our very wonderful panelists of the day. But before we dive into the is and the was, we would love to have a brief performance from our, is it guitarist, violinist? You know, the pronunciation is also very difficult. Yeah, you're most welcome. Thank you. We can have another hand clap for the performance. Actually, that it was soul touching, soothing, and an embellishing kind of tone. Hey, that shows that we studied from Makerere. Makerere oe. Yeah. So thank you so much. So without going very far, I would now hand over to Mr. Peter to do the moderation of our lovely panel today. It's properly gender balanced, not to sound sarcastical, but but I think this can do. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Peter. Thank you.
Thank you, Herman. We are going to have an engaging panel discussion. I don't know what Donna thinks about when they say it is gender balanced. She already had issues with the Lawrence government about gender balance. We had almost 2 hours discussing the composition of cabinet. So she's so passionate about gender issues. To give this a brief background, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Peter Rivan Muhereza. I work with the Dean of Students, and I'm the warden of Nsibirwa Hall. I've been in this institution for the last 11 years as a staff, but also as a student some time back, many years ago. I don't want you to start calculating my age. But we have had an engagement with the Ministry of Education and Sports and the Ministry of Health and UNESCO and Reach a Hand Uganda, and agreed that our students in higher institutions of learning need support in terms of creating awareness about reproductive health issues, in terms of sensitizing them against HIV infections that are on the increase, in terms of creating awareness on how a young person is supposed to live their responsible life for them to be useful for this nation in the future. But we shall start with my extreme right, Donna Keirungi, passion for gender issues. But this time around, we want a general comments, opening comments about HIV, sexual reproductive health in universities, about unwanted pregnancies and the future of our children in universities. You're welcome.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, everyone, UNESCO, Rahu, and Makerere for having such spaces for students to engage and student leaders to engage. This has been way long overdue. It should be a course on campus. SRHR should be something taught, maybe even to scientists who are studying physics should have 20 minutes of SRHR. So it is something that has been long overdue for the university to have such a platform that is specific to sexual reproductive health challenges and finding solutions. And I must say Makerere University in particular, because I've been a student and then staff for so long that I feel Makerere is part of me and my life. So Makerere has not been asleep to the issues of SRHR. When we look back to the 2009 gender equality policy, for Makerere University in particular, it is so specific to what is wrong for staff, for students, and how students should conduct themselves to remain clean even after they've left the university. Then the most important that was all over the nation actually, the sexual harassment policy and how it came in place. It's from 2006, but there was such a ruckus in 2019, a little before the lockdown, about sexual harassment. And Makerere was in a bad light with sexual harassment. I think that has come down now with information, especially because of that sexual harassment policy. And today when I came in, I was in shock when you say Makerere University. You're collaborating with Makerere University as Rahu, Makerere University is such a huge institution that you could easily lose a point by saying your collaboration is with Makerere University. So in essence, what I'm saying is, once you've got that MOU with Makerere, it would be good to find out someone that has been doing this and then majorly partner with them. And the best example I'd give is the School of Women and Gender Studies, for this in particular. The School of Women and Gender Studies early last 2019 rolled out an app called KISH, Kicking Out Sexual Harassment in Institutions of Higher Learning. And it is so detailed to what is sexual harassment and what is not, that it is now a part of the school's classes. Like I'd said, there is at least 20 minutes to teach students on this information before the class begins, the real class of gender theories. They've accepted, and a number of colleges have come on board to give the school some minutes to have this information disseminated. So we thank you, Rahul. We thank you for this. It's such a thing that has been way long overdue. About sexual I know Peter kept talking about my passion for gender equality, and Herman said it was sarcastic that he says it's a gender-balanced panel. I know we've talked about manos before, we've talked about men being on panels and overshadowing the women, but gender equality transcends the simple biologies of you're a man and a woman. A panel that speaks to a representative of the university, a representative of student leadership, a representative of all students that students with special needs, that we cannot downplay its gender equality concept. So moving on to your question of what Makerere is doing, I must commend the university that there's information. They have tried to put out information about sexual reproductive health. And going back to Uganda, UBOS 2018 says for every 3 girls that are between 15 and 20, at least one contracts HIV on a weekly basis. This is a lot of girls, if we're to look at it as a whole. When we say 1 in 3, we can think this is a small percentage, but it's a lot of girls on a weekly basis that get infected. And most of the sexually active young men and women, that is 15 to 24, this is such a small range of age, yet with a lot of people. And it has also been, UBOS has its statistics that more ladies, more young girls contract HIV and other STDs than the boys in their age range. And more men in 25 and above contract HIV on a weekly basis, meaning there's a sexual reproductive health information gap between the ages of school-going children. So in essence, there is when we were younger, there used to be straight talk, and they would talk about that generational sexual circles that happen. I don't know if there is still that information for the young people, for the 15s to the 30s, or if they look at it as that's in the 90s and so in the ancient. So for Rahu to have such an initiative, following up with students in higher institutions of learning, it is such a welcome and humbling experience for us, the people that lead these students. So the question I would maybe pose out to Rahu is, when you say this O3 plus is in participating universities, what does that mean? What is a participating university? What does it, how does a university get to participate in this? Thank you.
Thank you, Donna, for that opening, cracking talk. We shall engage you on some of those statements as we move forward. Next to Donna Kirungi is my brother Etoju Japheth, a third-year student of social work. By the way, I learned recently that social work and social admin was reduced to social work and given 4 years. So, Japheth, you're most welcome. We want to hear your experiences about sexual reproductive health, HIV infections, and unwanted pregnancies in universities. Just in the opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Japheth Etoju, a third-year student pursuing a bachelor's in social work. And sitting up front, I represent students with disability in Makerere University. I really appreciate the platform for allowing me express the feeling of sexual reproductive health in Makerere University. First of all, I appreciate all for those who really worked hard and came and said, we really want to bring this to Makerere University to reduce on the rate or reducing on the rate of HIV, AIDS, and others. Why I do appreciate, first of all, as a student, and when we get to know about it, we really come out of these challenges. First of all, I've said a lot